of Siraj-ud-Din, the policies of Alivardi Khan were continued by Siraj also. It means Siraj was also an able and efficient Nawab. Siraj was also an able and efficient Nawab. ये भी था able and efficient Nawab. And due to this, okay, EIC was unable to do unrestricted trade and commerce. EIC was unable to do unrestricted trade and commerce. EIC क्या चाहती थी कि अनरिस्ट्रिक्टेड ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स, कोई रोकने वाला ना हो, अपनी मनमर्जी चले बंगाल में, ऐसा नहीं होगा. EIC was doing unrestricted, EIC was unable to do unrestricted trade and commerce. And at the same time, EIC was having an eagle's eye on the lucrative trade and commerce of Bengal region. They were having an eagle's eye on the lucrative trade and commerce of Bengal region. They wanted to monopolize market of Bengal, and in this way they wanted to maximize their gains in trade and commerce also. They also wanted to maximize their gains in trade and commerce. They wanted to, okay, monopolize market of Bengal, and in this way they also wanted to maximize their gains over trade and commerce. They wanted to do fortifications of their trading settlements. They also wanted to do what? Fortifications of their trading settlements. They also wanted to do fortifications of their trading settlements, but they were not able to do so because of the strict approach of Nawab of Bengal. Okay, they were not able to do so. So problem तो पहले से ही थी. This was the main cause here. This was the main cause. EIC's ambitions. अच्छा, ट्रेडिंग कंपनी का इतना एम्बिशियस होना ठीक है क्या? नहीं. You should comply with the orders of the ruler, na? This shows that EIC was having a plan. Now what is the issue here? The bone of contention. The bone of contention here is what? Write this. The bone of contention between these two entities is what? Okay, write this. Misuse of dastaks. This issue. Misuse of dastaks. This was what? Bone of contention. Misuse of dastaks. This was the bone of contention between these two powers. And what was the misuse of dastaks? पहले बता चुका हूं. दस्तक क्या था? याद करो. फरमान ऑफ 17. Exactly. Farman of 1717. Who issued this Farman? Farooq Shir issued this Farman, and by this Farman, British got what? Duty-free trade. Duty-free trade and commerce in Bengal region also. They will not pay duty, and for that they will issue a dastak, a license or pass, and this dastak or license or pass will be validated by Nawab of Bengal. But नवाब ऑफ बंगाल क्लियरली सेड, पहले बता चुका हूं कि बंगाल के नवाब ने क्या किया? मुगल इंपीरियल ऑर्डर्स जो थे उसके साथ कॉम्प्लाई किया. ओके, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दे एक्सेप्टेड दिस. अदरवाइज ये इतने पावरफुल थे कि मना कर देते मानने से, और मुगल एम्पायर कुछ नहीं कर सकता था. बट दे वर कॉम्प्लाइंग विद द इंपीरियल ऑर्डर्स, बट दे सेड दैट डोंट डू मिस यूज ऑफ दस्तक. एंड व्हाट ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ऑफिशियल्स विल डू? दे विल यूज दिस दस्तक फॉर देयर प्राइवेट ट्रेड. ये प्राइवेट ट्रेड के लिए यूज नहीं करना था. एंड दे विल ऑल्सो इशू दस्तक्स फॉर द अदर ग्रुप ऑफ ट्रेडर्स एंड मर्चेंट्स. एंड दिस वाज लाइक अ करप्शन और अब्यूज इन द सिस्टम ऑफ कस्टम एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन which was having adverse effect on the treasury of Bengal. तो पहले से ही लॉस था, क्योंकि फरूक शेर के फरमान से लॉस हो रहा था, और मिसयूज ऑफ दस्तक इस लॉस को और क्या करेगा? बढ़ाएगा. तो प्रॉब्लम होगी ना. This was the bone of contention. Have you understood? Misuse of dastak. It means this dastak was also used for the private trade by EIC officials, and they were also giving this dastak to other traders, European traders and merchants, okay, by taking some bribes. So this was the main cause of conflict between these two powers. This was like the bone of contention. यही झगड़े की सबसे बड़ी बात थी. इसके अलावा कुछ और रीजंस थे. There were some more reasons which we need to know. And what are these reasons? इसके अलावा और कौन कौन से reasons थे? So the other reasons are, okay, Nawab Siraj had strictly asked East India Company that do not interfere in local matters, court affairs. And what East India Company did? They were trying to interfere in the local politics. There were some rivals of Nawab. Nawab के कुछ rivals थे. Okay. And one rival was his aunt herself. और उसकी आंट का नाम था घसीटी बेगम. है ना प्यारा नाम, घसीटी बेगम. तो सिराज ने कहा था देखो सबसे मिलो ठीक है लेकिन घसीटी बेगम से मत मिलो यार, मुझे गुस्सा आ जाएगा. एंड व्हाट ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वाज डूइंग? सीसीडी में घसीटी बेगम के साथ कॉफी पे कॉफी चल रहा था. सिराज को पता चला, अच्छा यू आर डूइंग मीटिंग विथ माय राइवल्स. सिराज और नाराज हो गया. नाउ देयर वर जगत सेठ्स इन बैंक. जगत सेठ इज नॉट अ नेम, इट्स अ क्लास ऑफ बैंकर्स, मर्चेंट्स. और हर सरकार को जरूरत होती है किसकी, पता ही है. ओके, तो बंगाल नवाब was what? Bengal Nawab, these Jagat Seths were the merchants, financiers and the bankers. और EIC वालों ने क्या किया? EIC ऑफिशियल्स ने क्या कहा? कहाँ इस नवाब के साथ जुड़े हुए यार, हमारे साथ जुड़ो, इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड तक करवा देंगे तुमको. इट मीन्स व्हाट द EIC was doing? They were also trying to get the support of Jagat Seths, Nawabs and bankers. And not only this, okay, there was an area in Calcutta that was known as Alinagar. And around Alinagar, British had developed some trading settlements. And around those trading settlements, they also started doing fortifications. वो fortifications भी करने लगे. तब सिराज ने कहा बहुत हो गया, इससे ज्यादा मैं बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकता. Now what Siraj will do? Siraj and his army will attack that particular area, Alinagar, where there is Fort William, and Siraj-ud-Daulah will establish control over that particular area. मार के भगा देगा वहां से अंग्रेजों, right? So this is the first conflict between Siraj and East India Company. And here there is a popular incident that is known as Black Hole Incident. ठीक है ना, ये होता है. तो have you understood the entire issue here, that what was the reasons for conflict? Okay, got it? Now write one more point. Right, the expression of this conflict was seen. Expression of this conflict was seen. Expression of this conflict was seen, right, between 15 June 20th June 1756. Between this period, this is 1756, between 15 to 20th June 1756, Nawab Siraj attacked Alinagar area, established control over Fort William, established control over Fort William. And what is Fort William? Write this: fortifications around this trading settlements of Alinagar is known as Fort William. He established control over Fort William, fortifications around this trading settlements of Fort William. Okay, ये हो गया फोर्ट विलियम. फोर्ट विलियम पे कब्जा कर लिया, ठीक है. एंड ड्यूरिंग दीज, ये क्या है? दिस इज मिलिट्री रेड बाय सिराज. दिस इज व्हाट? मिलिट्री raid by Siraj, and this military raid was successful. This is military raid by Siraj. This military raid was successful, and the British officials were thrown back to the seas. British officials were thrown back to the seas. They were thrown back to the seas. Okay, this was a military raid by Siraj, and the British officials were thrown back to the seas. Got it? And here an incident is very popular, and this incident is known as black hole incident, and some books also write black hole tragedy. कॉलोनियल हिस्टोरियंस लिखेंगे तो क्या लिख देंगे, ब्लैक होल ट्रेजेडी, ठीक है. एंड दिस आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस विथ यू, व्हाट इज दिस ब्लैक होल ट्रेजेडी. ओके, दिस story is related to this military raid, okay, black hole tragedy. Okay, now what about this black hole tragedy? So this incident is very famous. Are you getting ppt on the screen? दिख रहा है आपको? One second. Okay, this is black hole tragedy, and when we say black hole tragedy, so here what has been written, this was infamous prison cell. Okay, what has been written here, it's talking about a prison cell that is used to hold capture British soldiers in 1756, and according to one survival, 123 out of 146 prisoners died dehydration and heat exhaustion. What is this incident? So देखो, when Siraj raided, okay, this is basically the narrative of a survivor, and here the survivor was, okay, Z. Holwell. Okay, he was an EIC official, he was the survivor, and he writes that Nawab raided, okay, and what he did, he imprisoned, okay, British people. There were some Europeans, other group of Europeans also, उसमें Portuguese भी थे, and 146 people were imprisoned in a single room, in a small room, 146 people. And he writes that in the morning only 23 survived, and I am one of the survivor. मैं उनमें से एक हूँ. 146 लोगों को एक छोटे से कमरे में बंद कर दिया, और out of this 146, how much survived? 123. And I am narrating this incident. So that is Holwell. So Holwell narrated this event, and now this event is explained as tragedy. Colonial historians ने इसको क्या कहा? Tragedy. अच्छा, when you will picturize this incident, this will picturize the image of Siraj. कि Siraj was very barbaric. इतना बार्बरिक था, इतना क्रूएल था कि 146 लोगों को उसने जेल में डाल दिया, and only 3 survived. So this event, okay, picturizes Nawab of Bengal, okay, as a barbaric ruler. Okay, now what are the explanation? This entire event is doubtful also. Doubtful भी है. कुछ लोग कहते हैं हो सकता है झूठ बोल रहा हो, right, to malign the image of Siraj. But whatever be, this fact is asked in the examination. Exam में इसको पूछते भी हैं, है ना? So what is black hole tragedy? So here it is the account of a survivor. He was one of these 146 people. The name of this survivor was J. Holwell. That is John Zephaniah Holwell. ये याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये भी याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं. The name was Holwell. Okay, and according to him, this is an event of Calcutta's Fort William, the Fort William, which I was discussing. This is an event on 20th June. Okay, and he is writing that here they were the civilians. Okay, they were imprisoned here. They were the Dutch, they were the Portuguese nationals. Okay, 45 men and 1 woman. Men and women both were there. Okay, Siraj imprisoned them in a prison, in a small room, and this room is 18 into 14 feet small. इतना छोटा कमरा था, and here there were only 2 small windows. कहा कि भगवान का शुक्र है कि मैं विंडो के पास था, ठीक है, इसीलिए थोड़ी हवा मिली, सांस वास ले पाया मैं और मैं बच गया. So this is what Holwell is narrating, that due to extreme heat and humidity, dehydration, insufficient air, only 23 men survived. So he is saying that 123 people died and only 23 survived. Okay, so this account is narrated by the colonial historians to picturize. Now देखो ये narrate भी क्या उसने, what is the statement? That we had been but a few minutes confined before everyone fell into a perspiration so profuse you can form no idea of it. This consequently brought on a raging thirst which still increased in proportion as the body was drained out of its moisture. बेचारा अपनी तकलीफ बयान कर रहा है चतुर रामलिंगम के शब्दों में, ठीक है ना, ठीक है, हालत खराब थी इसकी. Every man's thirst grew intolerable and respiration difficult. Now everybody except those situated in and near the windows began to grow outrageous, and many delirious. Water, water became the general cry. At last I became so pressed and waist up that I was deprived of all the motion. It means that he is narrating the horrifying, okay, or he is picturizing that horrifying event. Okay, so this will picturize here what has been written here, that East India Company used the story as a justification for taking over Calcutta completely. कि हमने सिराज को हटा दिया तो क्या बुरा किया, सिराज इतना बुरा आदमी था. This black hole tragedy was used as an account here what has been written, colonial historians. And what nationalist historians will say, it was likely the intention to keep the prisoners in the cell for one night. हो सकता है कि एक रात बंद रखना हो उनको, ठीक है, until a more suitable place of incarceration could be found. हो सकता है कि वह सोच रहा हो कहीं और ट्रांसफर करना है, शिफ्ट करना है, और इनकी डेथ हो गई हो, या ऐसा हुआ ही ना हो. This entire event is doubtful also, because this is based on the account of a loyal servant of East India Company. This is black hole tragedy. तो देखो, जब आप हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल पढ़ते हो तो वहाँ हिस्टोरियोग्राफी के अप्रोच से हिस्ट्री के इवेंट्स को देखते हो. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? वहाँ ऐसे नहीं पढ़ा जाता, ऐसे बिल्कुल नहीं पढ़ा जाता, ठीक है. हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. यू विल रीड ईच एंड एवरी टॉपिक with the perspective of historiography, but clearly you are not going to mention that historiography. ठीक है, सारे इवेंट को, डिबेट्स को हम पढ़ते हैं. Now this is Fort William. Look at this image. This is Fort William, Calcutta. This is the fort in Kolkata. It was built during the early years of British administration in Bengal. Okay, river Hooghly, on the banks of river Hooghly. Okay, and what it has been written, the fort was named after King William III. Okay, and now what is the most important point here is that at the present time the fort is the headquarter of Eastern Command of Indian Army. This is Fort William. Okay, this event I have discussed with you. Okay, this event I have already discussed with you. Okay, now in next class I will discuss with you Treaty of Alinagar and the other events. ठीक है ना? So while discussion I am covering the facts also, concepts also, NCERTs also. So obviously it will take a little bit more time. ये और ये कभी भी क्लास की का नंबर अगर ज़्यादा हो से परेशान नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि रिकॉर्ड नहीं बनाना है. यू डोंट हैव टू मेक रिकॉर्ड कि 15 डेज में मॉडर्न इंडिया खत्म. आपका नहीं खत्म हुआ, टीचर का खत्म. ठीक है, ये रिकॉर्ड कभी नहीं बनाना. आधे से ज़्यादा बच्चे इसी भ्रम में रहते हैं कि हमने मॉडर्न इंडिया पढ़ लिया. आपने पढ़ लिया कि टीचर ने पढ़ा दिया? दोनों में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है. मेरी बात समझ गया ना? आपने पढ़ लिया तब वो आपके काम आएगा. तो इससे बेटर है कि देखो, आपका सेल्फ स्टडी तो मिनिमाइज हो जा रहा है ना. आई एम कवरिंग एवरीथिंग हियर, all PYQs I am covering. So when you will start solving PYQ after 2 or 3 chapters, you will find that you will be able to solve all the PYQs. Okay, and very soon I will start NCERT book series, and PPT वाली पढ़ाई नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा मैं. ठीक है, IAS का एग्जाम, UPSC का एग्जाम हो चुका है अभी. ठीक है, PPT एग्जाम आप भी PPT पढ़ा दोगे बिना तैयारी किए, और बहुत अच्छी पढ़ा दोगे. ठीक है, we will try to read NCERT on board work with the help of sketches. What is the theme? कुछ लोगों ने पढ़ा भी है, 1-2 चैप्टर्स मैंने कराए थे MC में. So with the same approach we will cover all the chapters of NCERT. ठीक है, तो जब कोई ऐसा स्पेशल सेशन होगा, like I thought that I will start NCERT, okay, like special sessions, like on Sunday or not this weekend, from the next weekend, and now there will be no any problem of power disruption. Okay, I have managed everything. So from the next week I will organize special session, that ancient India, NCERT, okay, chapter number 4 and 5, chapter number 3 and 4, and in this way we will discuss. So those who will be free will join the session, and later I will also post it, okay, on my YouTube channel, but it will take time because editing and all these things require time. But if you will join here, this will be more interactive and it will be more helpful for you, क्योंकि अपने doubts को वहीं पे आप solve कर सकते